Welcome into the Clapp Trap. Brought to you by Ultrasound Productions. Now also playing on 90.7 WKKL. Okay, we are welcome once again by our big time guest here. Biggest guest that we've had on the Clapp Trap. I'm not going to lie to you. We got Big Tone here back on the show to really, just destroy my Red Sox right now probably and talk a lot about how great the Yankees are. We just had the All-Star game weekend start for baseball with the home run derby. I want to talk about that. But first of all, Big Tone, how are you doing? It's been a little bit since I had you on the show. How you been?
I'm good. I appreciate it. It's good to be back. Your Red Sox are trash, but it's been fun. I'm happy to be back. Thank you.
Yeah, good time for you to be able to talk, come on the show and talk all about the Yankees being great and everything, and the Red Sox. Not only are we down, but we're also getting insult to injury or injury to insult when you got Chris Sale breaking his hand in that game the other day. Brutal for the Red Sox. So there's a lot of things that they need to change to get on your level, on the Yankees level. So I got to ask, just to start everything off, where are we at confidence-wise? Where's your confidence level with the Yankees to how they're going to finish? Are they going to be able to finish what they kind of started here? They're obviously been dominating so far. Where you at?
Hope so, because I've been pretty obnoxious. So, yeah, I mean, as far as if you don't have a heart, if you don't feel terrible for Chris Sale after that happened, I mean, the guy battles back in nearly 2 years, and it's just like you never want to see that happen. So that was brutal, and what a freak thing, just you don't see that. It doesn't happen like a ton like that. But confidence-wise, hard not to be confident. We're good, we're healthy, we're feeling pretty good. As far as finishing the job, that's what it's all about, right? So like, I'm excited, but I'm also, the Astros are still out there. I mean, there's teams that are still out there that we got to pay attention to. And, October's October, but we're in a good spot.
Yeah, no, you guys are obviously, and you're back where you want to be. That lineup is just so beastly right now, especially, I mean, against this most recent series against the Red Sox. I mean, you had game one of the series, that was a battle, but then game 2 and 3 absolutely destroyed them early, first inning, just getting on them. How can you, I don't know, as a, obviously as a Red Sox fan and anybody else, how do you get through that first 4 players in your Yankees lineup and not give up at least a run or two, right?
Well, the problem is too, is when right now, they're so hard when you have guys like Hicks and Donaldson and IKF and Trevino, like those other guys that are just producing and they're tough outs. I mean, I know that's always the thing that always bothers Yankee fans. When Hicks is going bad, they just talk about how much he walks. Well, he does walk a ton. You mix in some more hits with that walking, all of a sudden he's been in some huge spots. He's had some big moments. He's been playing great baseball last month and a half or so. And I think that makes it easier on the big boppers too, like the Judges and the Rizzos and the Stantons. I mean, because those three, as electric as they've been and as good of the numbers they've been, they've had their slumps this year too. So, I mean, I think Judge just before that game, he was coming off of 6 for 32 or something like that. I mean, they're just a tough team because, like you said, rock solid top to bottom, and then the pitching's just been a lights out.
Oh yeah. You guys are crushing it all over. And then it's the Saturday night game. And I was doing the YD Red Sox stuff, so I'm down the Cape. I'm driving back. I'm trying to listen to the game and everything, and I had just seen a tweet come out from you, that awesome tweet that you love to do about Carpenter being the butcher, right? And after he hit that first home run, love that one. But then I'm listening to the game on the radio, and all of a sudden you got Carpenter coming back up after I forget who had just hit the home run solo shot right before that, and then Carpenter comes up. And I'm sitting there thinking about that butcher tweet that you had just sent out, and all of a sudden, the long drive over the fence, and I'm just sitting there, how you get that feeling sometimes when you just all of a sudden you're just kind of like, oh my God, you just want to choke yourself out by how bad your own team is doing. That's where I was at that moment. So I just want to let you know that you're part of that.
Yeah, no, I'm a Giants fan, so I'm familiar with that as well. But I mean, the Yankees have been, besides this season, I haven't had everyone's talked about us potentially being good and getting there, and we just puked on ourselves. We haven't been that good. So this year I do feel good. It feels good to kind of rub it in your guys' faces. But that's how solid the team's going. I didn't even mention Matt Carpenter in that little spiel about guys. I mean, he's doing Barry Bonds stuff right now, right?
Right.
And just his whole story is awesome too, and just to refine his swing and the work he put in, he grinded, and it's paying off for him right now, and he's been huge for us, obviously.
Oh yeah, he's already had what, 3 multi-home run games, something like that. Crazy.
Yeah, he's out of control. I saw something yesterday. He's got like 4 games with like 7 RBIs or something like that.
Mhm.
Nobody's done that. I mean, it's just a very small list.
Yeah,
But,
it was.
it's been good.
It was frustrating. It was frustrating for me on this side. Good for you on your side, but that kind of brings me to the next question that I have here. Do you feel you kind of mentioned the Astros? Obviously, that's one of the teams in the AL in the conference that's tough. The AL East is beastly as well, though. Overall, top to bottom, pretty good. Are there any teams that you're most worried about getting in your way as the big boppers as the Yankees right now?
Yeah, I mean, the only team I think you have to. I mean, I say only team, but I think the only team that really gives us a scare is the Astros, right? They're just as good offensively, and they're just as good on the back end of the bullpen and the starting. I mean, and they have our number, right? So, I mean, I was saying to a couple of buddies, what was it, a month ago or so, we split that series. We had like 5 hits. We were lucky to win 2 games there, So that is going to be, they're going to be there. You know what I mean? We're going to have to get over that hump because they're not going anywhere. So that's probably the team that scares me the most. And then I guess you got to give the Rays a little respect too, right? Just because they've always played us well. They have good pitching. But the other, and I mean, I love seeing Baltimore battling too, but I'm not worried about them. But I think Houston's priority 1 for sure in my brain.
Yeah, I mean they're doing some crazy things, and I got to keep asking the way that this season is going. Do we think that Verlander is putting himself in position to be arguably like one of the best pitchers of all time at this point?
No doubt. I think you have to have the conversation, and because 1, he's been a front end starter forever.
Mhm.
He's pretty much healthy forever. He throws a ton of innings and he throws strikes and he's just nails in big games. And I think it's been hard for him. And I mean, he's like, this is a terrible comparison, but like the Tom Brady thing, he's just getting older and getting better. He's in the conversation for sure. Talk about like Kershaw's a guy who's kind of slid in that regard, right? And I think Verlander's kind of guy who's, kind of climbed a little bit more in that regard. But yeah, he's tough. But I do like him against us as far as the Yankees go because we're disciplined hitters and he throws strikes and we can hit strikes. And so we'll see what happens. But he's a beast out there for sure.
Oh yeah, no, it's unbelievable what he's doing. That is, I mean, the Brady comp from just the perspective of he just keeps doing what he's supposed to be doing. He keeps going out there and doing everything that he needs to do year after year. He's getting older and older, and I'm just waiting for him to fall off. He doesn't, like you said, Kershaw. That's an easy example there of somebody who we thought was going to be dominant for years. So,
can I ask you a question?
Of course.
Did you see any of the All-Star game yesterday or the home run derby where Poppy was shooting the money gun at Bogarts? What do you think? I mean, I think that was probably helpful, right?
I've gotten to the point with this whole situation where, first of all, I get what you were trying to do. You bring in Trevor Story. We talked about this, I think, the last time that I had you on.
Yeah.
You bring in Trevor Story. He's supposed to maybe be the substitute for Xander Bogaerts. You're never going to get the same production, but you'll get him on a lesser contract, and maybe he can get you most of what you get from Xander. Obviously, he's good defensively. The Big Poppy thing, love that, and I hope that it means something, but at the same time, the Heim Bloom era is here, and it's not going anywhere. They're not trying to pay anybody. They're even questionable about paying Devers at this point, which is insane to me. You're talking about one of arguably the best hitters right now in baseball. I've been saying it the last week or so. This guy's showing like old school Vladdy Guerrero Sr. hit the ball wherever it is. I don't understand how he's getting bad on the ball sometimes, and you don't want to go and pay these guys. I don't know. I'm very worried. I think I will be, I guess, okay. I'll still be mad, but I'll be okay as long as you sign Devers. As long as you give me Devers. Xander, I get it. You try to bring in Story. You try and switch things up. I get that. I get what you're trying to do. I'll still be pissed because I want Xander to be on the team, obviously. We're the Red Sox. Come on. I mean, like, we're supposed to be in the conversation with the Yankees and the Dodgers and the Mets and these teams that are out there buying the team that they're supposed to have. We're trying to act like we're the Tampa Bay Rays. So, yes, obviously, I'm pissed off about all that.
The Debbie one to me is crazy. Like, that's your guy. He's still a puppy, and he just rakes. And he's plays good third.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, I saw that yesterday, and I was like, oh, if I was a Sox fan, I'd be pretty happy about that because you have your guy kind of saying, let's pay some guys here. What are we doing? And I thought that was cool. So I was just curious what your thoughts were on it.
Oh yeah, no, don't get me wrong. I love the fact that they want to build the farm system. That's obviously something that Dombrowski destroyed for this team, going out there and trying to get us
Yeah,
a championship. It worked, but now you have Cassis coming up. You have Jaron Duran's proven that he can be a decent player coming up through the system. There's some guys in the farm system that are coming up. They want to build that up. That's great and all. But when you get into a position where you're the Boston Red Sox and you can actually make something happen, and you're not even just signing your own homegrown grown talent, I don't know. How can you not be frustrated, right? At that point.
yeah, no, for sure, no doubt about it.
So frustrating there, and that's one of the things that we get to with these
I
teams.
hope it gets better for you, man.
Yeah, I appreciate that. We'll see. I don't have the. I mean, the other thing was not to go off too much on this whole thing, but the Red Sox big thought was, oh, we don't have to go and get a pitcher. We have Chris Sale coming back. It'll be fine. And then this happens, and obviously freak accident. But is this going to force them to have to go out there and go after like a Luis Castillo type or one of these pitchers that's available?
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like. I guess the silver lining of that is now it feels like they have to be forced into going and trying to better this team at the trade deadline because you thought that Chris Sale was going to be your deadline acquisition. Now he's down.
Yeah, it's kind of like wishful thinking to me too, because we had something similar with Sevy going on, where people are like, oh, we're gonna have him back. Well, you don't know what you're getting back either, right? Mm-hmm. So you have to be prepared in some sense, and they just a lot of eggs in one basket. And then, like I said, I mean, the taking the line drive off the finger, it's just brutal.
But also,
we'll see what happens.
Don't get me wrong, he wasn't on his way to a great outing in that day against the Yankees. He was getting hit hard. So I mean, I mean, he hasn't been able to pitch good against the Yankees. Not that that's the only thing that you need to be a Red Sox player or anything, but come on, that's a huge part of it. So I don't know. It's been frustrating. I feel like it's going to continue getting frustrating throughout the rest of the year. But I got to ask you a question about somebody who you were kind of frustrated with going into the year, and I want to know if your opinion has changed at all on Mr. Aaron Boone.
Aaron Boone, yeah, I knew it.
You gotta go there because at the beginning of the year we're thinking, what are we doing with Aaron Boone? Why are we still doing this whole thing? I know we talked about that before. How are you feeling now?
So listen, okay, he's adjusted. All right, he has adjusted, and I'm being a little cute here, obviously. So I was all over him early on in the season. I didn't like a lot of stuff he did last year. I do think, I mean, in the first couple weeks of the season, I was ready to tear his head off, right? And it feels like something happened late April, early May, where things started to click. Guys were on different types of leashes. You saw him let Nestor go almost let him go a complete game. You see him, what he's doing with King and Clay Holmes, and then, Chatney comes back. That's a tough situation. Well, guess what, buddy? We got our guy now. Sorry. Like, it's things like that. And more importantly, I think than any of it that's been super underrated for us, we are stealing bases. We're running the bases. We were running the bases kind of horribly in the early part of the season, like doing the long turns around second, getting backdoored. Like, we see that all the time. We've cut that out, but we're hitting, we're running, we're stealing. And I think you have to say he's done great. So egg on my face with that. But I like the adjustments he's made. And Matt Blake, the pitching coach. I mean, he's just nobody talks about him enough either. Like, the Yankees have had a problem with pitching and figuring stuff out over the last 5-6 years. We have got some confidence with guys that are ours right now. And so, yeah, I'm happy with the whole staff and everything right now. So I apologize, Aaron Boone. Keep it going, brother.
Yeah, no, that'll happen. They'll switch things up, and making the adjustments is what's huge. And if you can't adjust, then you just die, and then you got to be gotten rid of, right? So at that point,
for sure. I think I remember talking to you, and I just remember saying, like, this dude is just he's grew up with baseball his whole entire life. It's just like 70 years of baseball. He has to know the situation better than I do, right? He has to. turns out he does. So
That's good.
So I'm definitely happy about that. Yeah, definitely good. Definitely good.
Yeah, no, that's good for you guys. Obviously, you got your guy for right now. We'll see how things continue to go. But you got the
Sure.
trade deadline coming up. So I got to ask, I mean, I know what my team needs. I need pitching. I need a first baseman that can actually at least catch the ball, and hit possibly would be nice too.
Yes.
But, you can't put like Franchi Cordero out there and just expect the guy to be able to play first base. But whatever. How are you feeling
guys
about?
just got to work on pop flies.
Yeah,
you guys just got to work on pop flies.
I don't. Whatever. Like, I don't even know what to say about all that. But we got the trade deadline coming up August 2nd. Do you have anything you feel like your team should be going after specifically? I know that not a ton of holes right now on your squad. You're hitting great. You're pitching great. Like, what do you think you need?
Yeah. So for me, it's always pitching. You wonder about longevity of guys like Sevy coming back, Teon, Nestor. How are we going to look deep? The playoffs, you need 3 solid starters, and I think we have them. But you mentioned the guy from Cincinnati. I hear we're floating his name out there too, and I think he's 29. You'd have control of him, I think they say, until he's like 34. And he's a beast. Yeah. So I think he's a nice, sexy pick for a lot of teams. But now this Juan Soto's getting floated out there, right? And that's making me wonder, what are we going to tell Aaron Judge what's going to happen here? Is he going to be a Met now? And we're taking Juan Soto? Like, what's happening? I don't know what's happening. I'm a little nervous about everything, but Juan Soto's 23 and he's a lefty. And so I don't know. That's 7-year difference between him and Aaron Judge. That's substantial.
Juicy.
So I think that's got to be on everybody's mind in the Yankee front office right now, because he turned that money down for a reason. He wants to go play for one of these teams. He wants to go play for one of these contenders. So I guess if there's a want, it's Castillo. I'd like to get him. But we're solid right now. I just want to stay healthy. That's the big thing.
Yeah, it's huge. Just the depth spots for you might be the best spots right now. Something in the bullpen, keep going with that kind of stuff. But nothing crazy, I don't think.
Right, but we got Herman too, we can just pop him up whenever we want. He can be a spot star. We can do a bunch with him too. Just teach him not to be a scumbag. That's something we got to work on. But
you always got to work on that.
But he throws strikes, and if we need a guy who can throw strikes, who's down there. All terrible jokes aside, he's there. He's available, and he's a guy where I don't think they're going to stretch too much on these guys.
Right.
I think they probably got 1 or 2 targets, and they'll go after him. You heard about Benintendi being out there. I don't think we're going after him anymore or anything like that.
Yeah.
So
Well, I think the vaccination thing with all those guys in Kansas City who didn't get vaccinated, not going to get traded.
Going to play. Correct.
Yeah. So that makes sense there. And then the Soto thing, crazy, bringing it back to the Devers thing real quickly, that makes the Red Sox so much further off. If he's asking for $440 million for 15 years and he's denying that, and the Red Sox were something like 10 for $300 million to Devers or something ridiculous, way off. So I don't know. It's going to be great for you when you get to see the Subway Series for the next 3 or 4 years in a row, when the Mets get Devers and probably Bogarts, and then you get Soto, and it'll be great. I love it. It's New York. It's great. I love it.
I'll tell you what. It's always the Red Sox. That's number one, and that Mets is right there, below it, and they're very loud this year, because as they should be. They are a good team, but man, I think in a 7-game series we absolutely beat the piss out of them.
Yeah, but
that's also DeGrom, Scherzer. I mean, who the hell knows? Health.
It'd be definitely an interesting matchup, and I'd love to see, just to go for a quick Barstool segment there, you versus Frank Fleming there. That would be an interesting dynamic right there, battling against that. We'll see how that goes. But so they are doing really well, the Yankees, that is, and talking with Big Tone here. If you don't know already, and you're not following along with Big Tone here on Twitter, or you do Instagram now, YouTube as well, so you're branching out into some different things. I'd like to see tons of content come from this guy, so anybody listening along who isn't following him already should go out and follow him. But you got this Yankee squad. We keep talking about how great they are. and how you're hoping that they can finish the job. I know it's a little too early to try and do this because you obviously have a lot of great teams in your history of your squad, but where does this Yankees team start to rank among your favorite squads? I mean, they're doing really good right now. Do you feel like they're a very likable team? Do you like them up there? Is it way too early to tell already? But what do you think?
I think they are likable. I do. Because they're winning in different kinds of ways and they're winning in impressive ways. So it's the Yankees. Everybody's always going to hate the Yankees, always going to be rooting for the Yankees. But as far as teams that are hated, we're not doing the stupid pie in the face stuff, walk off. There's no like quirky gimmicks.
Right.
And I think that's where like some of that stuff's fun and cool. Like Toronto does the jacket, all that kind of stuff. Some of that stuff's fun, but I think there is a degree of these guys just being laser focused that people are kind of into right now. And it's like, Jesus, what's going on out here? It's impressive. It's almost like watching the Warriors play and Clay and these guys and Steph just go nuts every night. And you're like, what are you supposed to do? That's kind of the feel I get to it. So I think from a sports fan perspective, people are like pretty impressed. I don't think anyone's rooting for them to win. The 98 Yankees was always a fun team for me. Probably the 98 team is probably, I would say, my favorite team. Just because of the run, again, the same kind of thing. You had the 96, you had Jeter, but this was like, now it was Jeter's team kind of thing. And I'm just a Jeter guy. And I think, I would say the 98 team. But listen, here's the whole thing about this team right now. Just quite literally, none of this matters unless we win the World Series. You have to win it. Like
True.
Cashman made that comment earlier in the season. Was trying to get to the playoffs and see what happens. Like, huh? Since when? Since never. Like,
right.
Yeah. So we've got to win. We've got to win. And if we win, this team will be right up there with one of my favorites, just because of the guys. Like, I love Clay Holmes. I love Michael King. I just love watching those guys pitch and just be dominant like that. And they weren't big names. I like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, it's definitely going to be good. But yes, that's for any of the fans out there that are not Yankees fans, are not Red Sox fans, are not about these championship or bust kind of seasons that we talk about all the time. It's a lot easier to like your teams, but if you're in this kind of a situation, if you don't win, all of a sudden you're just forgotten about and you never talked about again. So that's kind of how that goes.
For sure.
It's unfortunate, but that's how it kind of goes. But also, thank you for bringing up the Warriors there. It's still a little fresh for me, but whatever. It's okay.
Oh shit! Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Sorry. Yeah, man. I'll tell you what. That's a whole other conversation.
Yeah. Well, that whole thing with that did not work out well for us. But anyways, we had the home run derby happen last night, so I wanted to kind of get into this whole thing. It starts off the All-Star weekend, so you had some cool storylines going into the home run derby last night. You had Alonso going for number 3, possibly in a row, but also number 3 that would tie Ken Griffey Jr. for the all-time number of home run derby wins there. You had Pujols going in, which was an interesting storyline as well. Did you enjoy the home run derby last night? I saw some tweets about some hats.
I did.
And things like that.
Yeah, I was expecting it's the Griffey, you throw it on and get up there. I mean, to each their own. I mean, I don't have hair, so maybe that's why too.
Right,
so I'm bald, so maybe that's why I wear it. But no, it always looks weird to me. It's like when a golfer's not wearing a hat or something. Just kind of didn't matter because that guy hits tanks, huh?
Oh man.
So I liked it. I thought it was fun. The Albert Pujols thing was, I mean, you got to hang him up. Hang him up.
Yeah.
I mean, I know he is, but like,
come on, man.
It's a tough look. I mean, he is just warning track power. He finally found a groove, got some juice, but the first like 7 of them, I was like, is he not going to hit any home runs? All out to the wall. And then he got in there. But I like the changes they've made. It's fun. I do think it's going to be a young man's game. I mean, Pete Alonso's a psychopath, so he'll probably do this till he's 100. But it's tiring, it's taxing, and it's a different. I don't know how many guys are going to keep like doing it. You know what I mean? It's a lot.
It's tough. It is. It takes a lot out of you. What about Pete Alonso going and deadlifting right before he goes out there too? Did you see that whole thing? He goes, What are you doing? I don't know. You're going to waste more energy before you go out there.
If that was Bryson DeChambeau at a golf tournament, we'd be ripping his head off. And everyone's like, "This guy, he's unbelievable."
Yeah.
Dork.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can't stand him. The
yeah.
polar bear. He's an awesome ball player, hits nukes. What a lunatic.
Yeah, he's something else. But yeah, you had the storylines. I wanted to ask you too. Do you think that there's any chance that Schwarber kind of held up a little bit when going against Pujols so they could tie and maybe go to that? I don't know. Maybe he just was kind of
No, I mean,
not hitting him as good either. But
I'm pretty sure everybody had like a text thread going last night, like
yeah,
fixed, it's
yeah,
rigged,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know, because I
No.
know I did. My buddies were all over me. We always do like a little pool, like just the buddies,
Oh yeah.
and so that that comes up, and no, because it's like if you've listened to interviews with Schwarber, he's like a
True.
he wants to be.
That's
He's
true.
like a dude's dude, you know.
Yeah.
And I think as much as he respects them, I think he knew the boys would be all over him about losing.
That's true.
But I just hold on. Did I read something this morning? I had to work this morning, so I didn't see it. Did they miss a home run?
I saw that there was some kind of controversy about that. I don't know what they just didn't add it onto the board or something. What I don't even.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was the buzzer or what, but I just heard it. I saw it vaguely when I was going, but I had to hop into a meeting, so I couldn't read it. But I don't think it would have mattered.
No,
maybe it would have mattered.
I don't know if it would have mattered that much in the long run, but it was an interesting whole thing there. And that kind of brings me to a question about the home run derby itself. Obviously, you and I have been around long enough to see this thing go through some major changes. Now, do you like the newer versions of the home run derby? I know the iterations of it before, it's gone through many changes. Do you like this style of kind of a timed 1v1 kind of thing? Did you like the old school style? What were you more into?
So I kind of like this. I do like when they were showing the highlights. They always show the highlights of Griffey just in Camden. Like I remember that like it was yesterday, and that was like jaw dropping stuff, right?
Yeah.
I kind of like the old school like 10 out rule. You know,
right.
I do. There was something to that I like, but this is also like a different kind of contest. It's like endurance pitching. It's a lot of different things, and I think it's just constant action, which I think the world is all about right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, I'm cool. I'm cool with this new version.
Yeah, it's certainly good for the new generation of kids who have the attention span of a gnat and can't even get through, a few minutes of baseball. So it works good there. But yeah, I mean, there's been great ones that have gone. I mean, obviously, you go back to like '99 and at Fenway and everything. Great home run derby with all the greats there. You had the one, I think it was in 2005, Bobby Abreu, who went like nuts in that first round and just kept hitting home run after home run. I love that kind of stuff. But then you had the more recent ones with Todd Frazier battling against guys late, and it's coming down to the last second with the clock. I love that kind of change to it too. So yeah, you're right. It makes it into more like endurance style too.
And you still got to hit, the for the bonus time, you still got to get it. What was it, 4:30? You still have to hit them by
something like that. Yeah.
So there's some strategy involved in as well. Like I think as far as how hard they're going, the timeouts, all that kind of stuff. I like it.
Yeah. No, and it seems like they've completely gone away with the whole rule that they supposedly had about you had to let the ball hit the stands before you could go again. Yeah. Rodriguez was just going like fire, go. So
yeah, that was stupid. And there was something about how hard or slow they could throw them. I think they got rid of that too.
Yeah, just let it go. Just let them do whatever they want to do. Yeah. But then you got pitchers up there throwing cutters to your guy Acuna Jr. at one.
Dude, what is he doing?
I don't know. That was a funny one.
He's
I felt bad for you, but it was funny.
No, I mean, that's gambling, right? But it's like, I'm just watching the first three guys go, and there's, pitchers just throwing them in there, lobbing them in. My guys snapping them up, slide pieces, and cutters. I was stunned.
It's perfect.
I mean, you could tell Acuna was getting mad at him. He's like, "Here, like I want it inside, bro. That's the only shot we got." So,
that's what I'm looking for. Yeah. No.
Yeah, I think he's gonna have a big second half. That Acuna.
Oh yeah, no, he probably will. He'll have that, and he'll be ready to go. But it's fun to watch the home run derby. But just real quickly, just to kind of end the whole All-Star Weekend talk. Do you think that baseball has the best All-Star Weekend of any of the major sports? Do you have any others that you're more partial to, or you think it's MLB? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the MLB. I think at one time it was the slam dunk contest, but I think that's just so gross now. Now people watch it just to make fun of it. It's like and the Pro Bowl is a joke and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I think All-Star Weekend. It's cool. I don't know if it's like a little kid in me. I still just love seeing all the dudes in the different uniforms and hats on the field. I don't know why.
Yep.
Just always have. I just like that. So All-Star break for me, no doubt.
Yeah, no, that's the best one I think too. Right now, yeah, I'm a little partial to the NHL one. I think they're doing some goofy stuff with that nowadays, but it's a
That's
little
another one,
interesting.
yeah.
Yeah, that's not that bad. But yeah, the dunk contest in the NBA has fallen completely off. So that one I understand that. But all right, we've gotten through all the baseball stuff, but I do want to talk about a little bit of the content stuff you've been doing recently. Not getting into it
Sure.
too much about specifics or anything like that, but we got Big Tone here, and if you, like I said, once again, if you're not following him on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, you should go and give him a follow. He's doing great stuff with the content, but he's getting in big with the Barstool guys. It seems like at least doing some stuff with them. And so I just wanted to ask, how has it been recently interacting with them? I've seen you've been doing some golfing stuff. Have you been having a good time doing all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, it's been a blast. So I don't work for them. So a lot of people
Yep.
ask me that if I work for them. I
Right.
don't work for them. They've been friendly with me. I've been friendly with them. Jerry invited me to go do the mini golf thing. So I went and did that. And that was, the gist of it really. That was a good experience. I was, just kind of in the mix for the day. And it was fun. But yeah, it's going good. And who knows? We'll see if there's a future in it. As of right now, we'll just kind of keep doing what we're doing.
Yeah, well, we're all rooting for you to be able to get that spot. Yeah, I know that you're not there yet, but it's cool to see you interacting with all the guys and everything and just having that back and forth. I know Jersey Jerry, like you said, he's been one of the guys that you've been able to kind of link up with a little bit there. I saw him on some of the Twitter clips that you had. That guy can hit bombs, huh? Out of nowhere. I
Dude,
didn't think.
he is country strong.
Yeah.
He is country strong. Yeah. He is. He's not like people always pick on him. He's not a too terribly tall guy, but he's got forearms like Popeye, and he's a strong dude.
Yeah.
And I played with Rico too, and he can roll the rock. I mean, that guy can putt his nuts off, because we played on Monday. We played in a scramble event, and that was fun. We all kind of contributed, did our own thing, but Jerry played great. Jerry hits nukes. He's only played like 8 rounds in his life. He's only been doing it for a little bit.
Wow.
So he was a good athlete. I don't know if you guys saw, he played in a celebrity softball game there the other day, and he hit a home run. He had a whole thing. So he was a good little athlete back in his day too. So it was fun. But yeah, I got to interact with them. They were all super nice. And obviously I'd like to work there, but just kind of, they're giving me some opportunities to do some stuff here and there. And so we're just doing it and see how it goes.
Yeah, hey, you keep doing your thing, man. I think they'll certainly have a spot for you, because you're just doing you anyways, right? You're just doing the things that you love to do regardless. I think that's what really attracts them to people like you, who this is what you do either way. Like whether Barstool comes calling or not, you're going to be the guy that's at the track or out golfing, doing all this cool stuff. So I think that's awesome. So keep up the good work. But speaking of the track, how was Saratoga? Was it a good time for you?
Oh my God. Dude, I love that place. I really do. It's like, I can't even explain it to people who haven't been there. It's an atmosphere, like it's just a horse town. If you're like a horse person, it's just fun. Like I've been going there basically my whole life. A friend of mine, I call him the ice cream man. I've been gambling with him for years, and he's a very, 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 very good horse handicapper. I know horses, but he's light years ahead of me when it comes to stuff. So we bounce things off each other, but it's always his call. And all the picks I always give out with the horses, those are his picks. I'm just his friend.
Oh, okay, I like that.
And,
hey, you gotta have friends.
Yeah, for sure. So him and I, we've had this little system we've been doing for a while now, and we just had, we had 2 pick 5s, we had pick 3s, doubles. We just had the biggest weekend we've ever had in horses. So
that's awesome.
It was good. Yeah. It was fun. And the town, like I said, it's even if you're not a gambler, like if you just want to go out and like have some dinner, go enjoy like the nightlife, you don't have to go and gamble. Like it's not that kind of town. So it's all encompassing when it comes to summertime. It's just like got all the summertime vibes you can think of, and that's why I love it there.
Love that.
That's why I'll be there all summer.
All right. All right. Well, speaking of the picks, just before I let you go here, just to end it off, do you have any futures or anything you got your eye on right now that you'd love to kind of talk about real quick?
So I'm going to change it up on you. It's not baseball. All right. Tony, football's coming soon, guys. Okay.
Okay. I love that.
I really like the Chargers to win the Super Bowl. I think it's good value. I think the division's tough. I think they're going to be a higher price than they probably should be. And I think it's a team that might start out 3-0, and you're never going to see that number again. The number is slipping my mind right now, but it's a similar number everywhere. But I'm gonna fade the Bengals this year a lot because I think people are going to be all over them. I think Joe Burrow is for real, but I still think they are a young team, and it's a hunger issue there, or it's like a hangover issue there. You know, what's the next season like? We don't know. So baseball, I'm just locked in on my pinstripes. I'm not caring about anything else.
Okay,
I'll pick my home run plays here and there. No futures on baseball. I got a future on the Yanks to win, like real short, like plus 210. But football's right around the corner. I'm excited for football. Taking the Giants total over, Chargers to win the Super Bowl, and fading the Bengals all year. So that's what we're gonna do.
All right, man. Hey, I appreciate it. Those are some great picks right there. Great conversation as always. I appreciate you coming back on.
It. Thanks for having me. I always love doing it. I hope everything goes good the rest of the summer, and give me a shout when you're ready.
All right, man. I appreciate that. This was Big Tone here once again. Lastly, go follow him. Instagram, Twitter. He's got YouTube as well. Go and follow this man. He's got a lot of great content, a lot of great picks out there. And once again, I appreciate you, Big Tone. We'll talk to you in the future.